So now we're moving on to the second exercise in booklet number 3, and that looks like this. And you can see here we've got this kind of rounded shape based on a rectangle with this cutout in the middle. So my drawing is here, and you have to be careful here because you can see the width is 700, and then you can see the height is 1000, but the height goes from the top here only down as far as the center points of this radius here. So the actual complete height of the object is going to be 1100 because you've got 1000 to that center point, and then you've got a radius of 100, which will give you at that point there 100 extra. So let's first do our rectangle, 700 by 1000. That can be our starting point. And then we can move on and do something else from there. So 700, 1000, and now I need to zoom out a little bit so you can see what that looks like. Okay, good. So let's go back. Now you can see it also that you've got from that same center point level with this, you've got a dimension here of 500 going up. So I'm going to draw a guideline there. And also, these two legs are both 200 wide, so I'm going to do another guideline just there. So you know that you can take a guideline from any existing line, so just drag up from here, type 500, and I need one in 200 from here, and in 200 from here. Now you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just building the basic shape before I add any radiuses. So what I can do then is I can use my pencil tool to draw any lines in using the guidelines as my guide. And if I've done that correctly now, that should be two separate surfaces. Now a surface only occurs when you have a complete set of lines which join up in an enclosed shape. If I remove one of those lines, like deleting this line right here, the surface will also disappear. So if I hit the delete key, now I've selected that line, you can see now that I have the basic shape of what I need to draw in the booklet, except for the fact that I don't have any of these radiuses yet. So let's start putting those in. So let's put radiuses of 300 on those corners. 2-point arc, click. Let's try that again. There. Get that to there. Type 300. There's my first radius. I can go over here. I know that's the same, so I can just double click just here. There's my second radius. And what else do I have? Now I have a radius of 100 on the ends of these feet. So I'll put that on now. Zoom in so we can work accurately. Move that view around a little bit. Okay, so the 2-point arc actually has 3 points. 3 points you have to define. So you will have, if you've watched any of the previous videos, you'll know that if I click twice and then drag out, at a certain point it snaps into place and becomes a half circle, and Sketchup conveniently tells me that it's a half circle. Now if I click now, it gives me the half circle. Do the same thing over here. And then in order to make it a complete shape, I need to remove these lines that divide my surface into two. Okay, so I'm now almost complete with my shape, except for the fact that I need to add some radiuses here and these inner corners. Now the nice thing about Sketchup is what I just showed you regarding the 2-point arc also works on an internal corner, and it will fill in the surface which is missing. So for example here, if I click, drag out till it turns pink, move up the line until it turns pink again, type in my radius, which I think is 100. Let me just double check that. Yeah, that's 100. And you can see now this area here is being filled in. If I do this, it'll do the same thing over here. Now there is my completed shape as it should look, and I have a thickness to add of 100, which I can do using the push-pull tool. And there, I again have a complete, finished, neatly drawn shape.